Hello YouTube friends, Dr. Teresa here. Well, if you followed any of my previous videos, you may remember that I continued to have nitrite spikes and I wasn't sure why. And I think I figured it out. I finally have the tank stable, but it seemed that there was quite a buildup on the plastic plants. And so I've started cleaning the plants, and boy, did it really reveal itself to me where that nitrite spike was probably coming from. So you can see that there is quite a buildup on some of the plants I haven't cleaned up yet. I don't want to do them all at once, but you can see that that gunk really builds up and can contribute to the nitrites in the tank. So I have cleaned some plants, and I'm going to do another group just to demonstrate for you the process that I use that seemed to work really well. So in doing a water change, I took out some of the water from the tank and I put it in a large glass bowl. And the reason I'm using a glass bowl is because when I put the plastic plants in the bowl, I want to be able to see very well if I accidentally left any dwarf seahorses or their babies on any of the plants. Now, I do shake off the plants before I put them in the bowl, but sometimes those little guys just really hang on and you can't see them very well when they're doing that because their instinct is to grab on with their tails. So I shake off the plants that I'm planning to clean, and I put them in the bowl, and I do let the bowl sit for a little bit because I want to check to make sure there are no seahorses that got caught in there. So once I've collected all the plants, you can see, look, there was a seahorse that did get caught up in there, so I'm going to return him to the tank. But my biggest fear is the babies because those are so hard to see. So once I have the bowl filled up to where I want it and all the plants are completely covered with water, I let it soak for a little bit, and then I pick up the plants. I take them out of the water for a little bit, making sure no babies are swimming around or coming off. It can be really tricky to capture them, and I'm not seeing any, but I let it soak for just a little bit longer to be sure. And then I look on the sides of the bowl to see if there are any babies swimming around or hanging on or anything of that nature. And then I give it one final last look before I get ready to begin the cleaning process. And so I don't happen to see any babies here at this time, so it looks like I was pretty successful. So I'm ready to dump out that tank water, and I'm going to start filling it with regular tap water, cold tap water, and I'm going to fill the bowl until it's completely covered. Then I'm going to grab some hydrogen peroxide. I'm using 3% peroxide. I'm not formally measuring it out, but it's about 1/4 to 1/2 cup that I imagine that I'm putting in there. I really just want to get enough to get some bubbling action going after the plants have been sitting for a little bit. So I make sure the plants are submerged and I give it a little time, and if you look closely you can start to see some bubbling action, and that's exactly what I want. And that hydrogen peroxide is going to go deep into the plants and all the little crevices. So I'm manipulating the plants just to make sure they're fully covered. And then when we get a closer look here, we're going to see the bubbling action of the peroxide. There we go. Yeah, it is really getting deep in there, which means there is a lot that is being cleaned out. And then I can see exactly why there was so much buildup there, and possibly those nitrite spikes. So I give it a little bit more time. I let it sit for a total of maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Here we can see the bubbles really well. And when the bubble action is mostly done, I take the plants out and look, all that gunk that built up. So I'm ready to start rinsing everything now. get cool water on it, get any residue off that was left, and then I dry it to make sure there is no chlorinated water left on before I start returning the plants to the aquarium again. So that's just my last step. I put the aquarium plants back in, and they're pretty clean looking, almost like new. And get the last of it in there, get them arranged the way that I like them, and there, look how nice they look. So pretty simple process, but obviously really important for me to keep up with. So I'll probably do a rotation, a couple of plants each weekend. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.